This week, in one of the most shameful, lazy, idiotic, callous, cynical, grubby, despicable and reckless manner, Albanese and his appalling foreign minister, Penny Dreadful Wong, declared, with zero electoral mandate, that Australia will recognise the non-existent and largely terrorist-inspired state of Palestine. And here is the level of deep intellectual thought that went into this government's decision.
It's like a football game between, South and the Broncos, and you got to back in your team, and you got to back them in. What we need is a win-win.
I'm sorry, Prime Minister, but you are a half-wit, and that's choosing my words carefully. The fact that the decision to recognise Palestine is being criticised by people on all sides of the debate is because it is indeed a moronic decision. If the level of your understanding of the complexities, the dangers, the traps, the potential horrors, the individual agonies, the broader regional impacts, the religious and even civilizational ramifications, not to mention, even at its most basic, the visceral impact on your own Australian Jewish population, if all of that boils down to a comparison with a game of rugby, you really are an unintelligent and callous man, unfit, I would argue, for anything higher than a lower management paper-pushing role in some grubby union. Hamas have greeted this decision with glee, describing recognition of Palestine as one of the fruits of October 7th. Well, let me remind you of some of the other, to paraphrase Billie Holiday, strange fruits hanging from this recognition of Palestinian tree. A description from Time magazine describes the scenes of the morning of October 7th. Quote, "The appalling record of Hamas brutality has set a new standard in unrivaled human atrocities, the brutal massacre of 1,400 innocent Israeli civilians, including mass rapes, tortures, bonding and immolation of toddlers, beheadings, and live mutilation. Grotesque and sickening scenes with few victims alive, but with footage provided by the gleeful terrorists themselves from their own body cameras, dash cams, and the devices of victims as they were slaughtered." End of quote. The very people responsible for that horror show have now been rewarded on the international stage by the unacceptable pronouncements of Albanese and Wong, which the coalition have rightly promised to reverse and rescind. Had Bob Hawke been Australian Prime Minister, he would, I have no doubt, have headed straight to Israel and to those killing fields of the Nova Festival and the surrounding villages to pay his respects and honour them. Penny Wong couldn't even be bothered visiting the sites when she was in Israel, and Albanese has shown scant interest. Too busy, perhaps, eating meat pies, visiting China, demonising Bibi Netanyahu, and making asinine statements of recognition and facile comparisons to a game of footy. Today is the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, VJ Day, when Australia was finally safe from being enslaved by an aggressive, heavily armed Asian military superpower to our north, largely thanks to our ally, the Americans, as well, of course, to the bravery of our own people. How ironic, 80 years to the day, Albanese and Wong's actions have directly led to the Americans being, quote, disgusted by our treachery. Lucky, isn't it, that there aren't any aggressive, heavily armed Asian military superpowers to our north with their eyes on, oh, hang on. Not only our reputation, but the security of this nation has now been put at grave risk thanks to Labor, Albanese and Wong. Never has Australia sunk so low.